Today we learned all about Lapidary in the Rockhounding Mod. 2, 1. Howdy all, Jagster here. We are going to learn something exciting today. And if you can't tell, it has something to do with things around me. So behind me over my shoulders you see a bunch of different rocks. Because we're going to be looking at rockhounding. So that's one of the great things about this pack is it gives you all kinds of new stone to work with. Not only that, it also gives you different kinds of petrified wood, each with their own plank pattern. And you know what else is great? You can do more with these than just stack these like they are. And we're going to get into some of that today. Don't know if we'll get it all in this section, this part, but we will try. So we are going to step over here to the project box, and we have made the Rockhounding book guide. Oh, we didn't want to start there. Rockhounding book guide. Not real pretty, as you can see the book. The rocks are where we shine. If the size of the book doesn't allow for optimal reading, change the GUI. That goes without saying. The book tries to describe all the parts of the mod and the steps to proceed in it. The table of contents is divided into the main arguments, each one splitted, and they talk like me, into chapters. Each chapter contains sorted lists of documentation. For faster navigation, clicking on the indices leads you to the proper page, which I could have done the README first, and it would have brought me to the README. Mod concept. The mod is focused on producing decorating and building materials. It generates in the overworld a wide collection of rocks to search and process and build into building parts. Now here's the thing. Each of these rocks, they don't show up everywhere. You get some of them here, you get some of them there, you get some of them over there, and certain ones will spawn together. Rory, quit getting beat up. That's one of the cats. He's 3 times the size of the kitten, and he cries like a baby. So, yeah. Each rock is depicted with a reasonable, typical, real-life look. And I gotta say, having worked in stone cutting and gem cutting and stuff like that, these are pretty darn accurate for the most part. There are a couple things I take exception with, but not much. It's a really good representation. The rocks are spreaded, see, again, talks like me, through all the biome types to enhance exploration, hence a wider biome variety will be welcome for the best working. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. The mod does not include blocks like slabs and stairs, being them too many variants. Definitely not English, not first language here. It suggested the use of chisels and bits to obtain any additional shape, which we have here. Resources. The mod features 112 rocks plus some vanilla additions and uses 3 different methods to customize the generation by acting on the config file. By the way, I haven't touched the config file, haven't had to. Each rock is provided of an enabler, min-max. Yeah, this is telling how to change the config. We don't really need to know that right now. Rock vending system will still grant access to them. Apparently, if you build a rock vending system, don't know anything about it, never used it, never had to. Machines. This is where we're going to spend a little time today. So to get the other pretty rocks and variants, you need these 3 machines. And to make these 3 machines work, you need these 3 additional items plus a couple other things. Cutting station is more advanced. We can't get to that till we have higher forms of metal production and power. You know, true but not true, but yeah, it's true, because we just don't have enough like diamonds and such right now. So the stone rammer. This device allows to cut raw blocks into plain blocks, which are like smooth stone or plain stone, as opposed to cobblestone. Plain blocks are the base of every cut. It requires a spinning water wheel on its left and a rock platform on its front. So you'll drop your rocks in here. This will turn. These will go whack, 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 until the block is smooth, and then you can remove it. Works a lot better if you have like hoppers and such, but you know, works even better if you can get the cutting machine. When those are done, you can drop them into the carving bench. This device allows to chisel plain blocks into chiseled blocks. It requires a spinning water wheel on its left, a rock platform on and its back, and carving rack on its top. The carving rack has to have a block scheme and what they call a dummy hammer, which is an old style hammer that wasn't a hard hammer. Basically, it had a little bit of give to it. You also might want to have the sculpting bench. In fact, you will if you want to move farther in this mod. This device allows to sculpt plain blocks into columns, sculptures, and other bits of decorative work. And mystical items. Things that glow. Ooh, they don't put that there. Requires a spinning water wheel on the left, a rock platform on its back, and a carving rack on its top. The carving rack must contain the desired sculpting scheme and a dummy hammer. Carved blocks can be cleaned again into plain blocks. So apparently you can take one of these sculpted blocks and turn it back into a plain block, which I've never really used. Water wheel block allows to provide the transmission to the devices it is attached to. Basically, this is your source of energy, and you have to watch how you put your water in. See, we got our dot on this side, and you want your water flowing that way. If you do it the wrong way, it ain't going to work. Must spin clockwise, so from this view, it has to go. For those of you who don't know what clockwise is, and yeah, this is an issue now. As an aside, back when I was working with new people at work, we would have a class about once a month on how to read an old-style analog clock and understand what direction clockwise is as opposed to counterclockwise, because kids these days, and I mean like 25 and under kids these days, don't get it. And I thought this was just me, but I talked to a couple of the professors down at the local college, and they're like, no, this is a thing. They can't do anything that requires directional, rotational movement. So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey is lost on them. Electron spin is lost on them. What order to take orders at a table in a restaurant is lost on them. Yeah, there are big holes in the knowledge base of children today. Just saying. Carving rack block that must be placed on top. It's not hard to make. The rock platform. Only thing hard about this is having enough leather, which we've got now. The cutting station is where you want to go. It does require diamond saws. Let's see what this rock vending system is. This block allows to purchase the raw rocks in cases where they are not generated in the world, yet granting access. Okay, so if there's something you can't find, you can cheat your way through. Okay, I've never had to use it. Materials. Well, we've shown you how to make the wood. We'll show you how to make the cogs. The dummy hammer, I've actually got to look up because I haven't made it in a while. Dummy hammer is consumable, used in the carving bench, blah, blah, de blah. I've never actually, I think, had to replace one. I've never used these machines long enough. Schemes. There are two sets of schemes, and these are a little tricky to find in JEI. I will show you how to make them, what the recipes are. The rock finder allows to know in which biomes it is possible to find a specific rock. It must be inscribed inside the rock vending system after selecting the... Okay, so this is another thing that can help you find where the rocks are located. Sandpaper allows to turn carved blocks into plain blocks, so you sand them back down. You don't run them through the machine. Cutting blade. This is what I was talking about. This is a diamond blade. It does get consumed, and it goes pretty quick on usage because by that point you're dropping stacks in there. Efficiency will consume less water depending on its level. Yeah, I don't understand that. Never ran into a problem with it. So anyhow, that's the book. And here's another little... Oh, is it dark? It's dark. I better get to sleep. You know, I get talking and I don't pay attention, and stuff like this happens. Blood moon. I get caught with my shorts down. So anyhow, Rockhounding, Rockhounding. You'll notice there are several different Rockhound books. There's Chemistry Quest book, there's the Rockhound Guide, and then there's the Chemistry Guide. Long story short, I went to make this. Oh, goodness. Knowing JEI, I thought these were all variations on a theme, and it turns out they aren't. This makes the Chemistry Guidebook, which is what I made by accident. Chemistry Quest book. The Rockhounding Guidebook, which is what we wanted, which is a cobblestone and 3 paper. The Dcraft Omicron edition, so it tells you how to make the original guidebook should you lose or destroy the one you have. And that requires an opal Stele, which is one of the glowing bits. And then the Tome of Wisdom. I don't know why it pulls all these different books that aren't the thing we were looking for, but yeah, it pulls all the books. So you got to be a little bit careful. So first thing, I made the water wheel because it's pretty simple. It's just slabs and oiled planks. So water wheel takes an iron. That's your biggie, each one of these, and I need 3 of them, so I had to use 3 of my iron ingots, which I don't have a lot of. Basically any log, 2 water wheels, and 1 treated timber. And a water wheel is just any 2 slabs basically and the treated lumber, and as a recount, it's planks plus fish oil equals 4 treated lumber. So, yay. The next thing we need, and let's go to the... I forgot what the name of the thing is now. Sculpting. We had I'm going to have to look it up. What was the name of the first machine? Devices, machines, stone rammer. Okay, so the stone rammer. This guy. 3 cogs, any log, basically, treated lumber, and sledgehammers. And these are made of gears, treated lumber, and triple compressed cobblestone. So you have to compress 729 blocks of cobblestone into 2 of these. So you need 1,400 and a bunch. So let's get some log, because we're going to need some logs. There we go. And you will notice I have triple compressed cobblestone all ready to go. And we're going to make the sledgehammers. Oh, that means I need to be over here. We'll make the sledgehammers first, and to do that we need to make the wooden gears. So there's one. I should have just done both of them. There's two. I'm going to need to do those twice again. So, actually, I need two more plus 1, 2, 3 more to make the bench. Might as well just get it done and out of the way, right? Right. So we're going to make 2 of these. So what I should have done, click Shift plus, and then I can make as many as I have parts for. And then I need one of these. Boof. And you see how fast we ran through all of that lumber that we had. So get another stack in here. We are going to make the rock platforms. And we are going to need 3 of these guys. So look at that. You'd think I had this planned out. All right. What was the other doohickey we needed? We needed one of these, which is called a carving rack. We need 2 carving racks. The carving rack is just 5 of these. Pretty simple. Don't know why it's upside down compared to, yeah, who knows. So I need 1, 2. Alrighty. Alrighty, mighty Aphrodite. Yes, I have a heartfish I didn't convert. So we've got the carving rack, we've got the stone rammer, we've got the water wheels. What was the next thing we needed? We needed the carving bench. So again, very similar, very simple. It's gears and treated lumber. So 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. Oof, there's that. And the last thing we needed was a sculpting bench. Which again, gears and some planks. So let's go. Just about ran outside. 1, 2. And we've got our sculpting bench. So what's missing? Well, I already made them. We have the plain block scheme and we have the carving or fluted column scheme. So let's just put in scheme. There we go. And this lets you see a bunch of the variants. These are not, you don't make each one of these. This guy, it's 1 treated lumber, 8 sticks, makes a plain block scheme, and that will let you do all of these variants. The other one, the fluted column or sculpting scheme, is 3 treated lumber or treated timber and 6 sticks. And again, it will let you make all these different things. So easy enough to make those in advance. We are missing one item. which is the one I don't know how to make. The dummy hammer. And we need 2 of these, which is a lead ingot, and this may bite me in the backside. Do I have? Yes, I have enough lead to make 2 dummy hammers. There we go, and you notice they don't stack. Alrighty, move these over. So we have everything we need to start shaping these. And this is the one that we're going to focus on first, is going to be the red tiger eye, because we need that to make the next level crafting bench. So I am going to call this a part or an episode or whatever you want to call it. This part's done. Next thing I'm going to do is off camera, I will assemble all the machinery, make sure it's all hooked up and working, and then we'll show you how to turn those pretty things into something more. So, till next time, you keep on digging and finding them pretty rocks in Dcraft Omicron Edition. Yeah. Living life in a Dcraft world. We're doing it. We're rocking. Literally, we're rocking. Rocks, get it? Yeah, okay, bye. See you later, everybody. The Jagster here. We are going to begin part 2 of Rockhounding Basics. And I will direct you to look over my shoulder. Oh my goodness, what are all that stuff? Look at that. Ooh-wee. That's cool. Look at this. So this is what it starts out looking like. This is red tiger eye. And quite honestly, I do not have the plane block, so let's put that in there. This gets converted to this, and then this gets converted to any of these. So you have all manner of brick and decorative type. And remember, you can, I believe, still do chiseling on a lot of this stuff after the fact. So, this is how you set them up. You're going to cut a trench. You're going to leave a block in the center. You're going to put a bucket of water on this side. You're going to remove the block, and it's going to start turning. So that sounds a little confusing. Let's go over here. So here we have hole, block, and then we set our little water wheel here. When we are done, we have all this set up. We just break that block, and we start getting power. You'll notice the gears are turning, yada, yada, yada. So these work best if you do them in batches. So I put a stack in. And what we're looking to make are these, the Stele. These have that same pattern you kind of see in the nether portals, and these do glow. The lanterns do glow, so there is some light associated. The bird bath, I can't honestly say whether it attracts birds or not. Might attract butterflies, who knows. In any case, you come up here, and when it's done, when the whole stack's done, this will turn into this. But just because it ain't done doesn't mean you can't pull them out. So see, we have 4, and that's exactly what we want. And we want to use this machine. So we're going to click on the board. We're going to remove this. We are going to start right-clicking until we get to the Stele. There we go. And we are going to put that back in. We're going to come to the back, and we're going to load our 4 blocks in. And it's going to turn and turn and turn, and I believe it pauses when it loads a new block. Nope, it just shows you up there on the progress bar. Okay, must have been an older version that paused. Anyhow, when all of them are done, you'll notice in the back, and it doesn't take very long, we now have 4 of these guys. Oh, by the way, this is a little greenhouse I had to make for my sugar cane. It was not growing out here. It must be too cold in this biome. But I put it in the greenhouse and it's doing fine. So, project box. And these go 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. And what are we making? We are making a crafting table. But you already have a crafting table, you say. I say, yes, I do. But I do not have table. What is that under? Extended? Goodness. Helps if you hit the right buttons too. Extended crafting. Why am I? Oh, there they are. Basic. So why didn't it come up under crafting? I don't know. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I'm blind. Anyhow, this is what we need the magical wood for. And we've got our Steles, which we're doing the red tiger eye, although I did find bone blocks, so I could have done this one. I did find sunstone, so I could have done this one. Haven't found serpentine. Haven't found, might have found a little blue, I don't remember. Don't have any umber, don't have any wonderstone, don't have any bloodstone. So this was the first thing I found, redstone, so that's what we went with. So we need a crafting table and obsidian. So let's get our magic wood. We'll pop that up here. And I've got obsidian. What was the last thing I needed? Oh, crafting table. Yeah. So, do I have a spare? And not anymore, apparently. So I need to get some wood. And make a crafting table real quick. There we go. So that is what your recipe looks like, and it is dark. I always seem to do this at least once in these videos. Minecraft Day is way too short. By the way, I am into the 3rd year in this game. 3rd Minecraft year. Time flies when you are having fun. So let's go and load this. We now have a basic crafting table. Woohoo, yeehaw, and whoopee. Put that right there. So what does this get us? Actually, let's see. Oh, give me that. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, we got the oil, we treated the wood, we compressed the cobble, we made the stone shaping machines, we found a permanent base site. I need to start updating this. Did that. That's our ultimate that we're after at this point. So the next thing we're going to be doing is making Caminite blend in the new table, converting those to Caminite bricks and other Caminite components to eventually get the Ember core. And what was our recipe for the Ember core, you say? Why do we need the Ember core? Not Ember core, Ember bore. I keep calling it a core for some reason. So I got copper, I got iron, I got everything to make that. I need Caminite brick stairs, which means I will need 6 Caminite brick blocks, which means I will need 24 Caminite bricks. So we need to make Caminite blend. Back of my head. Caminite blend, start cooking, and we'll get back to you. Because once we get the Ember bore, ooh, we can start processing ore and not have so many terrible losses. We can also maybe get the bloomery. Those are in parallel. Why did I do that? Don't touch that. Hit that one. So the other thing we need to make yes, we need the Ember bore to get metal processing for embers to get dawnstone. Once we get dawnstone, oh, that's piece of cake. Once we get dawnstone, we can get the bloomery. When we get the bloomery, then we're in Iron Heaven. We enter the Iron Age. So, leaving the Stone Age, heading into the Iron Age. Leaving the Stone Age, going into the, what do you call it? I don't know what you'd call it. Embers is different. It uses magic. Well, what appears to be magic to us. But it uses this mysterious power of the world to make melty stuff like, you know, bronze and dawnstone, and yeah, much more efficient. So that we can get to iron and then eventually to steel. So, yay, we're making progress. It only took 3 Minecraft years and about 5 days working fairly steadily. So you can make progress in this particular mod pack, and you can do it quickly, but you got to know the steps. If you don't know the steps, you might have to do a lot of trial and error, a lot of research, and a lot of digging. So next time we move into Caminite. Catch you later. Bye. Next time we build the Ember bore, living in a Dcraft world.